Hey Sagittarius, welcome to your April 2017 General Tarot reading. It's Raina here, your fellow Sagittarian. And so, what's happening? Before I lay out the cards, I just wanted to tell you that we're going to have a full moon at, I think it's 22 degrees of Libra. But anyway, it's happening on April 11th. And Libra, for Sagittarians at least, that's our 11th house of hopes and wishes. And so I'm kind of excited because we have Jupiter in that house as well, in Libra, and it's retrograding right now. It will be in Libra until October 11th. So look at that number 11. And actually, how many months is that? That's not 6 months, it's 7 months, right? So it's going to be there for quite a while. But what is this full moon going to do? And I think also, to be honest with you, I think it's going to be close in degree. I wonder if it's going to be in conjunction with with Jupiter, those two transits. So that could be very lucky too, because the 11th house is the luckiest house. And full moons, some people say they bring endings. Okay, you know, if that's the case, you may end a friendship. You may end your involvement in a group, because those are 11th house things as well. But what if it's a fruition? What if something, you know, kind of comes together finally for you? And that's what I'm hoping for, because the full moon is a very potent time and, you know, very magical time. And it's also very fertile, you know, it's pregnant. So there's a lot of potential, there's a lot there, abundance. And so I see it more in terms of the culmination of something. So hopefully that means that something that maybe a goal that you wanted, it finally is met, and maybe that's the kind of ending that, you know, you always wanted to do something and then finally it happens for you. So good luck with that. And then at the end of the month we have a new moon on April 26th in Taurus, and this is the 6th house of health. So that can be really cool too when it comes to issues surrounding, you know, maybe changing your diet or your health routine. And also it represents your daily schedule, like what you do during a day, as well as the workplace. So those kinds of things can be affected. And there's going to be a Mercury retrograde in Taurus starting on April 9th until like May 3rd or so. So it's going to be in this sector, and this is a good time to go over issues regarding diet and maybe doing research, and maybe like I actually heard that it's a good time to start a diet when Mercury is retrograde, believe it or not. So just a little bit about that. So anyway, on with the countdown. If for any reason you happen to be watching the Taurus love reading, and by the way, I did put up love readings already for April, so you can check my channel for that. But I did do 2 love readings for Taurus by accident, and so I have deleted the second one because some viewer wrote and said that she was confused about that, and I realized, oh my God, I didn't know what she was saying because I didn't know I had done that. And then it dawned on me that I remember like thinking, I think I already did this, you know. Sometimes you do things and you don't realize you already did them, and you could have sworn you did them, but you can't see any evidence of it until it's too late. So, oh well, c'est la vie. Okay. Let me look at this for a second. The overall theme is the Knight of Swords. Sometimes this simply relates to things happening very quickly. And it's kind of like, you know, because the past position was the Eight of Swords, it's kind of like maybe freeing yourself from something that had held you back for a very long time. This could be a toxic relationship. It can be a toxic job situation. Job situations can be toxic too because they are relationships too. And I just wanted to hold up this card for 1 second so you can see it closer. This is a card of holding yourself back, of keeping yourself artificially in a prison because you refuse to see what's around you. Maybe it's easier to pretend that you are trapped. You may feel oppressed by a situation, and this can be financial, this can be romantic, and you may feel like there's nothing you can do about it. But then something happens, and it's like the door to the prison opens, and you just walk through. And it's a really cool phenomenon because it's coming from a place, I don't know. Sometimes, I mean, I've had this experience myself more than once in my life where I really thought what was happening to me at that moment was going to be happening forever. And it was like once it was time, the door to the prison opened. And is it your higher self that says, okay, you're done learning that lesson, now let's move on to the next situation? I don't know. I don't know if it's something we consciously do, because a lot of times I didn't feel like I was really working on the problem. And that's actually, I think, a good thing, because a lot of times we tend to work on problems and we focus too much on the problem and not on what we really want. We're always focusing on what we don't want. And then when we get more of it, we don't understand that that tends to be what happens. So just think about how this might apply to your life. Now, this may not apply at all. This is a general reading, and this may only apply to certain people, certain Sagittarians. But I feel like the answer to this problem is your work, your excellence in your work, your craftsmanship, doing the best job that you know how to do. And this is a card of perfecting your craft, and for some people it's being an apprentice, or that word that means when you're working for no pay, and you're working, I don't know why sometimes I can't think of words, but you know, people, internship. But I don't know if it's really an internship. Yeah, it could be. This is like an apprentice. Sometimes this card can represent going back and getting a certification or something like that if you need it for advancement in your career. But you may lose yourself in your work because you're trying to keep your mind off of other things that are happening. If there's a personal relationship, it could be with someone who is very blunt, who doesn't mince their words. Sometimes this can be hurtful. Sometimes the people don't mean to be. They're not doing it abusively, but it comes out in a harsh way. You may adopt those qualities, and Sagittarius is known for being blunt, so this may be you, where you finally speak up for yourself. If you were keeping if you were feeling so victimized that you just kept your opinions to yourself, you may step up to the plate and start really being that Sagittarian that is inside of you. and not allowing anyone to walk all over you finally. Because I tend to think, male or female, Sagittarius is one of the more gutsy signs. They're not, you know, fire signs are very aggressive sometimes even. So, but that doesn't mean that they can't find themselves in a victimized relationship with another person. That can certainly happen. And there are different reasons for that, including, you know, your astrological makeup, your other in your chart, you know, which includes hints about what your childhood was like, and then and also the other planets, the signs in the other planets. You might have Pisces, you might have Virgo, things like that tend to be a little bit more reticent and kind of like question themselves. Or if you have Libra in your chart, and I did get a couple swords there, maybe you're go along to get along type of mentality, and it's not working out very well. The higher message is the Seven of Wands. This is a card of like defending oneself, standing your ground, not allowing anyone to walk all over you. By the way, the Knight of Swords can relate to legal lawyers. So that might be that you are, that you have sought an attorney. Maybe you have a marriage that is not working out and you've sought an attorney, and then the Eight of Pentacles would be you just trying to make a case, working hard with that. For work matters, you may be doing mental work now. Maybe you felt trapped by some kind of a job that you were doing and you're really working hard. Maybe you just decided to quit your job and go back to school. But the Seven of Wands as the higher message is saying to you, you know, how do you give away your power? And how do you get it back? And you get it back by having very clear boundaries. And it's up to you, really, to let people know, including employers, what it is that you're willing to tolerate and what you're not. If you just allow anything and then when it gets to be too much, flip the script, then in a way you misrepresented yourself. If you're working at a company and they say, well, okay, well now you're going to be doing the work of two people and making, you know, less money, and you don't speak up for yourself then and there because you're afraid of being fired, then what do you expect? People are counting on others to shut up, keep quiet, because they're fear-based. And, you know, more times than not, it's, you know, they're proved right. People tend to, you know, be afraid of rocking the boat. So that's something you have to, like, deal with if you want to see the results you want to see. In the challenge position, we have the Hierophant card. This could relate to a Taurus person who, and this was the Mercury retrograde is in Taurus. So if there's a Taurus person, that person may get back to you. But the Hierophant card deals with institutions and including the clergy. In the challenge position, sometimes it can mean that the person is too much of a conformist. And I was thinking, or it could be the other extreme of being a rebel without a cause. But I'm thinking that with that activity in the 11th house, it could be, and Jupiter's retrograde there, maybe possibly, well, let me see. So that's, yeah, the full moon is there. Okay. It could be that there's something to do with a corporate environment for some people's workplace, because the 11th house is a house of groups. And, you know, the 10th house is the career itself, but the 11th house can be your goals and also groups and friendships. And in terms of the jobs, you know, connection to your career, for people who work in a corporate environment where they do a lot of networking, then that could really figure into what's happening at that full moon, and you may decide that it's too like life denying for you, or I should say it's too like lacking in individuality, or and not stressing individuality enough. You know, there's a collective that you have to conform to this outer thing, and that's not typical for Sagittarians. We tend to be very independent, and we like to do things our own way. And so we almost feel like sellouts if we are in that type of an environment, because they can try to control you down to the kind of hair you have, or, you know, the clothing that you wear. And of course, yeah, I mean, any workplace, they have certain dress codes and stuff like that. But even that, some Sagittarians balk at that, because we like to have our own, we like freedom. Plain and simple. And there may be too much of that trying to, the group think, you know, that we don't appreciate too much. So that may be why I'm getting that card. And again, if there's somebody who is a Taurus, now that could be if you were having another person in your life, that Eight of Pentacles might have been the Taurus, because Pentacles are earth signs. So perhaps you were with an air sign and now you're with an earth sign. So besides Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn are earth signs, but this one, it seems like that would be a challenge to you, this earth sign individual. But to me, the Swords person was too. Maybe neither one of them. Who knows? The advisor, what's coming in, is the Three of Wands. So this is a real visionary card. It's a card of, you know, wide open spaces, broad horizons, looking beyond your immediate environment and trying to expand your life in some way. And so you may be thinking to yourself, you know, I need to expand my business, or I need to move. Maybe you have your own ideas, and maybe that's what the Eight of Pentacles is about. You're trying to bone up your skills so that you can do something on your own, because maybe you've not been happy on your job. You felt oppressed, trapped. And this is, you feel this sense with the Three of Wands, you feel this sense of movement, that you have the opportunity, the ability to leave and to embrace new things. And that may make you very happy, and give you more of that sense of freedom. The Wands are connected to fire signs. There could be somebody who is an Aries, Leo, or fellow Sagittarian who is figuring into things. And with personal relationships, the same thing. Either that a fire sign is involved, or you have that sense of your own potential. And so being obsessed with a relationship isn't really where it's at for you right now. Page of Cups is the outcome. And this is a card that's related to very creative energy. It's related to Pisces, I think, particularly, but also Cancer and Scorpio. It's a card that's connected to artists, psychic people. You might have a lot more intuitive. Your intuitive side may be coming out more now, and that allows you to make better choices with your life. You may feel much more relaxed, I would say, because it's like being a newborn baby. The pages relate to a feeling, I mean, well, they do relate to messages too, but it's also related to children. But if this is an aspect of you, there's an innocence, there is a sense of wonder, and it's even being kind of like an open, a blank slate or an open book. No guile, no any kind of pretense. Trusting, completely trusting in the universe. to provide you with whatever's happening, because I feel, I mean, I'm surprised I didn't pull the Fool card, because there seems to be this new beginning that's coming up for you. Sometimes the Page of Cups indicates love, you know, blossoming between two people. So that can be very nice too. And so I'm going to leave it there. If you'd like a private reading, Sagittarius, or Sag, I should say, please click on the link below for a link to my store online. Otherwise, have a great April. Take care. Bye.